Hey, what's up, everyone? Raging Golden Eagle here, having way too much fun as always. And today I would just like to discuss for a little bit the flaw with appealing to a wider audience versus a more targeted niche audience. And I'm not gonna do any build-up. Let's just flat out say what the problem is. It's not good to try to go for the wider audience when literally everybody else, all of your competition is doing that. Yes, you could argue that this phantom wider audience has by far the biggest number of potential customers. That's true. But they also have the biggest number of other companies and people appealing to them. And that's the one thing these guys never fucking consider. If you opt to appeal to the widest possible audience from the very beginning, then you're just going to be another piece of scrap in that garbage pile. One of my favorite examples to go to is the MMO gold rush of the early 2000s. After World of Warcraft got 13 million concurrent subscribers during Wrath of the Lich King, everyone wanted to make an MMO. Every single fucking company, both the large corporations and the small indies, were making MMOs. And not only were they all making MMOs, they were blatantly lifting World of Warcraft. They lifted its interface. They lifted its gameplay. Hey, look at our WoW killer. That's literally World of Warcraft reskinned with a shitload of extra bugs added to it. And without years upon years of people invested in the lore, yeah, this is totally going to work out. So the only thing these focus groups and these suits saw was the fact that Blizzard had World of Warcraft and World of Warcraft had 13 million subscribers. And they saw that and went, we could get 13 million subscribers if we do that too. But I know what you're thinking. Oh, okay, fine. That's too old. What about a more current year example? All right, I hear you. Cash grab live services. Live services that are designed specifically to keep you addicted as long as possible, to keep you paying cash as long as possible. Once you got someone addicted to one or two of these live services, why would they leave their current live services to come to your new one? You have to offer them something truly spectacular that their previous ones don't have. Because guess what? They're already invested in their previous ones. They already have the sunk cost fallacy going on pretty hardcore. And I was in this position myself, actually, when I used to play mobile games. I only ever played 2 at a time because that's all I had time for. And really, the only time I switched to a new one was when it was the perfect storm of one of the old ones really pissing me the fuck off right around the time I found a new one that looked really interesting. Then I made the swap. But otherwise, I mean, there's literally tens, if not hundreds of thousands of competitors out there I could have been going to. And as I looked at each one, I just said, I've already invested all this time and money into the one I have. Why would I leave this one to go to yours? What is yours offering me that would make me want to abandon all the time and money I invested into this other one? And I wasn't even a giant fucking whale either. I'm one of those people that if I play a free-to-play game and I noticed I've sunk like 100 hours into it, I don't mind giving them $60 because I've already gotten more out of it than I get out of most $60 AAA games. So, okay, you know what? I'm going to give you guys the $60 just because you've clearly earned it from me. So I didn't really invest that much time and money into my mobile games. But even that was enough. I wasn't willing to abandon all the time and money I invested into the games I already played to jump into a completely new one. And I wasn't going to be doing them simultaneously because 2 is the most I had time for. That's the most amount of daily logins and daily quests and shit I was willing to do. I had no time for another one. I had no money for another one. So the only way you were going to get me is if you pulled me away from one of the existing ones. And this is the trap. All of these morons who appeal to the wider audience, that's what they fall into. That's why the MMO, God, there's a graveyard of companies. Companies went out of business betting everything on an MMO because they saw how successful World of Warcraft was, only to learn that that was World of Warcraft's audience. That wasn't the MMO audience. And they couldn't pull more than a couple thousand people if they were lucky, and then they were shuttering their doors. And live services, same way. How many fucking mobile games do you see that launch to big fanfare and then 6 months later announce that they're shutting down services? And, oh, you can't buy things from the cash shop anymore. We're going to do some big events to close it out. And that's another thing they got to worry about, too. A lot of people now are waiting before they buy into live services. I wonder if this one's even going to be around. So all these companies, they fall for the same trap. They try to appeal for what they see as the widest possible audience, and they fail to see that they got literally hundreds of thousands of competitors in that sphere. Hundreds of thousands of other companies and small startups and individuals are all aiming for that same lowest common denominator audience. If you really want to do the math, you would be way better off finding a niche that's not being served right now and getting that guaranteed niche audience. And as a member of a lot of niche audiences, if you give us what we fucking want, we'll be willing to open up our wallets for you above and beyond what's necessary. But the problem is no one's giving us what we want anymore. Everyone is stabbing us in the back because associating with us ruins their chances to get into the wider audience. And then inevitably, the wider audience refuses to accept them. So their gamble fails. They lose copious amounts of money. And now they have one final chance. Their last ditch efforts to stay afloat is they go back to us, who they just stabbed in the back. Just a prank, bro. Here, we're actually going to give you something you want now. Are you going to give us money again? And we're just going to turn around and say, nah. While you were gone trying to lust after that wider audience, or in the case of SJWs, the widest possible audience, if you know what I mean, while you were going after them, this other company came in and gave us what we wanted. Why would we leave them to go back to you? Hell no. We're sticking with these guys who were here when we needed them. And then you're going to be out of business. That's how this is going to play out. I've seen this play out multiple times. So I have no problem with companies that try to expand their audience. Like, for example, a lot of the hentai game circles I follow, they release yaoi from time to time. That's something I'm not interested in at all. But I have no problem with them doing it. But they're continuing to do the stuff I actually like. They're just expanding into a new market in addition to that. The fact that they're making those games for Fujoshi does not affect me whatsoever. They're still making the shit I like. And this is where most of these companies fuck up. Is they don't want to grow their audience. They want to replace their audience. They view it as mutually exclusive. Like, oh, if I want to appeal to these people, I have to specifically kick my current fan base out. And I just described how that ends up. Yeah, their new flame dumps them, and then they come crawling back to us after we've already found someone new. Yeah, it's going to be pretty awkward. Just stop. So it's okay if you want to make something for a wider audience, if you want to grow the audience, if you want to expand into a different audience. Just keep your existing audience happy, okay? It's not that fucking hard. Keep giving your existing audience what they want, in addition to maybe trying some new things, trying some risks. Because if you keep your existing niche audience happy and your gamble fails and that new thing you wanted to make flopped and lost you a bunch of money, if you treat us well, we'll be here to keep you afloat as you recover from that. We'll be here for you as you recover and try another risk. We want you to succeed as long as you keep giving us what we want. It's that simple. Just keep giving us what we want and we'll support you even if you fail trying to break into a new audience because you didn't push us aside to do that. We know that if you make more money from other income streams, maybe you're going to spend it on improving the shit you give us. That's not a bad thing. So don't neglect the niche audience who got you to where you fucking are. And if you choose to stab them in the back, well, don't expect any sympathy from me when they refuse to bail you out, when they refuse to help you out of the hole you dug for yourselves. In the words of the Joker, you get what you fucking deserve. And that's all I got to say, guys. Thanks for listening. Oh man, I am so excited to tell you guys right now that finally, after about a year of build-up and shilling, we have launched Blade Devil on Indiegogo, and so far it is doing so well thanks to awesome people like you. If you haven't backed it yet, then please check the links in the description and check out Blade Devil on Indiegogo. You will not be disappointed. Looking forward to seeing you there.